device. Again, we're not going to go over every detail with your mobile device and how to sync contacts or anything like that, but really today what we're going to focus on is our mobile app, how to use it, how to promote it, how to get it out to your clients, and also some video YouTube situations from your cell phone. We're going to be using our cell phones a lot more lately, so I want to make sure everybody's up to speed on best practices. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe Lowry, and he can share his mobile screen. So have your cell phone handy if you can. Thanks.
Yeah, we hopefully got this figured out here with our cool little, there we go. So there's a way to connect your phone to the Zoom meeting, and I've tried it a few times, and of course it worked this morning, but give me 2 seconds to get that up here, and we will make this awesome. So let's do this, and say share. There we go. And ta-da! You guys, that's a round of applause. You guys are actually looking at my real iPhone. Come on now. Yes, thank you, Nicole, for actually participating in that. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're focusing mainly on our mobile app, which looks, when you download it, there's a couple ways to go get it. So what we're gonna do is, this is obviously an iPhone, so we're gonna do this as the iPhone way, but all the steps are very similar in terms of the Google Play Store. So when you search for our mobile app, the most important thing to note is there's about, I think, Jamie, we counted 15 that all have BHHS home search. So you got to make sure you get the right one. So the one that we're going to search for today is called the BHHS Utah home search. See that right there? So we have our Utah home search. By the way, can you see like cursor when it hovers over the phone screen, or is that just me pretending? You can nod if you can. Can you see the cursor?
Yeah, we can see it, Joe, but it's kind of, there's a delay. And
okay,
everybody, I also want you to be aware, make sure you put in Utah. There is a BHHS global mobile app. You want the Utah mobile app.
Yes, that is absolutely critical. So then you're gonna hit the search, and then you see right here that the icon has our brokerage icon on it. It says Berkshire Hathaway Utah Properties. So I've already downloaded the app. So in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and open it. But if you were installing it for the first time, it's gonna come down, and your app is gonna ask a bunch of questions. It's gonna ask things like, can I use your location? Can I use your contacts? Can I use your camera? Can I use your microphone? The answer to all of those questions is yes. It's okay to have this app do all of those things for you. And so when we go ahead and start getting this app ready and branded to yourself, once you start giving the app permissions, you'll get to see the power that it has in creating searches and other things around. So when the app looks like this, you're gonna go over here to the upper left-hand side, which is the hamburger stack, right? We call this our 3-line hamburger stack. We're gonna press that, and it's gonna slide over, and it's gonna look like this. If your app currently looks like this, you have not branded it to yourself yet, okay? So keep in mind that if you hit that hamburger stripe in the upper left-hand corner like that, and it does not have your picture, and it does not have your name, you have the generic version of the app, and you don't have the one that's branded to you. So here's how you get the app that's branded to you. The third option down right here is called Agent Search. You see that, everybody? We have Agent Search. So I'm gonna press Agent Search, and since he's my good friend and a good agent, I'm gonna go ahead and put in Lance May here. And so you would search for your own self, right? I mean, not everybody can be that handsome, certainly with that coat on that I think he's wearing at this very training at the same time. But we digress. So obviously, if it was Jonathan Sexton, you'd put in Jonathan Sexton. Obviously, for Raquel or for Kristen, Visser, you put in your own name. Now, once you find yourself, you go ahead and select that, and your screen's going to look like this, okay? So if you sit there, you notice that the primary phone, it's Lance's primary phone. Lance, give me a nod if that's the phone number you like to use for business. No? Okay, so we'll go ahead and figure out how to change that. He's also got an email address, and maybe he wants to change that as well. So we know we're going to change those things, but right now we have the right agent, and we're going to go ahead and set as preferred agent. So I'm going to press the set as preferred agent button. And now when I click my hamburger stripe on my app, guess whose app I have? That's right, I have Lance May's app. So that's very, very important when you're using the mobile app, because you want a double two-way communication between yourself and all the other people that you're going to give this app to. And the main reason is that when they are searching for homes, if they have your version of the app, guess who's the only agent that shows up as a possible option? That's right, you. So every time they want to take a look at a listing, even though it's listed with another brokerage or another agent, they will request, I want to see this app, and that will go to you. It will not go to the other agent. So let's take a look at some of the options and the features that we have here. Now on the question, so if we have the picture is missing or something like that, I'm going to go into later at the end of this mobile app, I'm going to show you what the dashboard looks like and how to log into that. And it's going to let you change your picture. It's going to let you change your phone number, your email, and all your notification preferences. All right. So here we are. We've got Lance's app. And the way that this app works is it's based on your location, which is why when the first time you download the app, it asks you, does BHHS Utah Home Search have permission to use location tracking? And the answer to that has to be yes, because it will be absolutely way more beneficial to your clients if they allow that to happen. So right now, when you hit that little location arrow, think of it as the I am here arrow. So when that arrow is there, so the great thing about this is that since we have agents in Moab, and we have agents in St. George, and we have agents all over the state of Utah, we have connected now to 3 different MLSs in the state of Utah. So this works with listings in Moab and St. George. Moab uses the WFR MLS, but we also have our office down there is now officially recognized as part of our office chain. So wherever you go in the state, you can go ahead and press that little arrow, and it's going to show you active listings that are around. So I'm actually, this is my house, and you can see that right a couple blocks from my house, I have a home there. And if I want, I can just start dragging around the map. So I'm just taking my finger, and I'm just dragging around the map, okay, and see what's going on. You can pinch, which then zooms out. There's a whole bunch. By the way, East Layton's a hot little area right now, just in case you're wondering. So if I pinch, I can zoom out, I can see even more. Or if I want to zoom in, I could say, oh, I know exactly where I want to go, right next to Oak Forest Park. So I'm going to zoom right in on that home by spreading my fingers out like that, right? So I pinch to get it to get a wider field, and I zoom in by spreading my fingers out. Now you notice that every single one of these little houses that pops up has the listing price on them. And some of them have cool little icons, like this little buddy right here. Can everybody see that there's a little icon right there that's a down arrow? That icon means that the price has just recently been lowered. So if you want to get some information on that particular house, all you're going to do is click on that pin. So I click on the pin, and it tells me it's recently reduced. And in that moment, what has happened is that my app just called the WFR MLS and started loading pictures for that house, okay? So now I'm excited because I want to see more pictures. So all I have to do is, again, click the little rectangle that's popped up here, and now it swipes over, and now I'm looking at this beautiful layout of this home that was recently reduced by $5,000. And guess whose lovely face shows up as my agent? That's right, Lance May. If your app, when you go search for houses, doesn't have your lovely picture, or in Brad's case, a lovely gray circle that we're going to put a picture in soon, if it doesn't have your actual picture, you're not using your branded app. Now, the reason why that's so important is, you see what we have is in terms of, this is called the primary home screen, and it gives us some really simple information, right? I've got the total number of beds. I got the total number of baths. I've got the fact that it's 3,300 finished square feet. It was built in 1980 something. Trying to zoom in here on that, but it's a little wrapped around. And then it gives me highlights of the house, details of the house, and then details of the neighborhood. Because I have given the app permission to know my location, it also tells me how far away from where I'm at right now. So how cool is that? If you want people to go out and look for homes, make sure that they have that location thing turned on, and it'll actually tell them how far away they are. And I'm going to show you some other advanced features here in a second. So the first thing people want to do when they're looking at a potential listing is what? Right, they want to look at pictures. So this is how you look at pictures on our mobile app. You're going to take your finger and you're going to swipe. So I'm taking my finger here. There's a picture there. I swipe. And then I realize, you know what? I want to really see those actual pictures. So I tap on the photo itself, and it brings up the complete photo collage. Okay. So again, let's repeat that. Here's my main screen from clicking on the pin. In fact, let's go all the way out so we can all do this together. So I'm going to zoom out like this on my map. I've clicked my arrow to identify my location. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in or move my finger around the map to kind of find out the area that I want. And in this case, I'm like, ooh, that house is on the market now for 1.8. So I'm going to zoom in on this like that. I'm going to tap on that little button. It went and queried the MLS for me right now, and it tells me the 2152 East Canyon Drive is now active, and I want to get more details on that. So I click again, I tap on that rectangle, and it slides to my highlight home screen. Okay. Now from here, again, I can look at total beds, total baths, finished square footage, the year it was built. Again, I've got Lance as my agent, so I know I'm in the right place. Okay. And now I want to start looking at pictures. So I can quickly swipe just at the top there to look at the pictures, okay? And we see that I've got 3 out of 67 pics. I'm like, well, let's get into those really good pics. So I'm going to actually tap on one of those pictures, and it's going to load up my photo collage for me. Now, there's one more level of pictures. I can tap again, and now I go into full screen. And if I rotate my phone in landscape mode, look how cool that is. And now I'm swiping through those photos. See that? Okay, so I'm going to pause here and just see, does anyone have any questions in the chat about how to get to where we are right now?
Joe, we do have a couple questions.
Yeah, let's take them.
Right now, Kathy Slusher is wondering if anything other than active is shown here, meaning is pended
Yes.
listing shown?
Yes, now the WFR allows us to, on this app, it'll show pended or under contract. And so the PC MLS, we had some issues with that a little while ago, but we've resolved those. So those should also be showing as pending or MLS. So yeah, there's no sold data in this app, but there is all the active and pending statuses.
Excellent. Another question from Ramon is on his app, it shows the distance in minutes. Can we change that to miles?
It does not currently have an option for us to change how to see that, but Ramon, I will show you the actual drive time directions that are located in the app, and you'll see that it actually combines both of those things. Any other questions?
Excellent.
Oh, Jeff. Okay, so Jeff says he can't find the app in Google Play. If all else fails, it's a good thing my phone is connected here. If all else fails, you can actually just search, go like this onto your on your phone, or you can send this to clients however you want. If you put in the address app.bhhs, well, not 3 H's, bhhsutah.com, you'll go to what's called a smart page, okay? And that smart page, I know it looked really quick there, so let me go back so you can see it. The smart page is allowing you, it understands that you're either on an Android or an iOS device, okay? So you can see right here that it's saying, get the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Utah property app for search for homes in your area. And then you click download the app, and it will actually ask you to put in your phone number or your email address, and it will text you the link to download the generic app. So if you can't find it on your whatever application store you use, just type in app.bhhsutah.com and you'll get this little smart screen, and it'll tell you what's going on. In fact, if you do it on your computer, it knows that you're not on a mobile device, and it'll actually say, give me your email address or your phone number. I'm going to send it to your mobile phone. So it's an intelligent way to kind of get the app out there really, really quick. So that's cool. All right, here we go. And then Michael, are you using an Android phone? Perhaps?
Michael, that looks
Michael,
like
that does not look like our app.
Yeah, that's not our app. That's probably the corporate app.
Yeah, Michael,
So
that's
we can
not,
help
remember,
you trouble.
remember
We can help you
BHHS.
troubleshoot after this.
Yeah, good. BHHS Utah home search. Do the BHHS Utah home search, and then we'll chase you down after. Okay, so that's the other way to get to it if you can't get to it from the traditional App Store way. Okay, so now we're looking at this home. We're looking at pictures. Again, I tap the pictures. It gives me this sort of dashboard of pictures. And you can see the arrows spinning, right? Because it's actually grabbing whatever's recent from the MLS. See those because they go along. And again, if you get a picture you want to go into full screen mode, you tap that individual picture, you rotate it this way, right? And then here we go. Lovely music room. Swipe left, swipe right. Okay. Any questions on getting to the photo part? Right on. We'll charge ahead. So in addition to having this highlights page of having Lance's information there, do you remember when I asked him if that was the right phone number he wanted when we registered for his app? This is why. Because right here in the app, you can actually press these buttons and your phone will say, you want to call or text Lance? Right out of the app, okay? So that's pretty slick. You have that option there. Below that, you see, when do you want to see this house? In ASAP, right? Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So basically, I can actually say, you know what, it'd be great if I could go look at this on Saturday, and then I put in my information. So if you can't see my screen right now, it says, I'm requesting a showing for this $1.79 million house in East Layton. I'm gonna fill out this information. Do that. I'll just do this so we can see what's going on here. Joe Lowry, and I'm gonna put in Joe at BHHSutah.com and 801-953-5642. So I'm asking for a showing on Saturday, May 2nd, and I can actually put in a time here by clicking that box. I'll say, you know what, midday would be best for me, okay? So I click that, and then I send that to Lance. So now on Lance's end, because I have, I've requested that showing, Lance is gonna get in a second on his lance@tridestin.com email, he's gonna get my, my request. Lance, do you mind, are you in a position you could share your screen real quick and show what that looks like on the other end? Not really? Okay, no worries. But anyway, that's what happens. 1 second. We'll do that.
I can share screen, Joe. It just says it's disabled, so you'll need to.
Yeah, go ahead, give that one more try. I've made you a co-host.
There we go. Hold on 2 seconds. Let's do it this way.
Lance, or you could forward me. There we go. Perfect.
So it's right here.
So this is what you get as an agent when someone uses your app, okay? You see this? The showing request was via mobile app from my name, Joe Lowry, right? And it says you've received a showing request from Joe Lowry via your mobile app. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. I'm asking for Saturday, May 2nd, midday, and it gives Lance the MLS number, the list address, the address, all those things, and allows him to go back and email me straight out of the app, or he can go ahead and give me a call, whatever it is that we want. And I'm going to show you in a second the two-way messaging features from the app. Okay, so thanks very much, Lance. Appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and take that back, and then I'm going to share my screen again for the mobile app. So we're good to go. All right. Same thing happens if they do that via text message, right? So the same thing will happen that way. So I also have a virtual tour button. So this one actually has a virtual tour. I'm sure this is a Matterport that they've got going on, so you can view that through the app. And then, of course, here's your description as you'd find in any parts of the MLS, right, to go through. Now, on the bottom, it tells me the history. So you can see over here that it was sale in October of last year. It tells me my estimated mortgage payment. If I click that arrow on the estimated mortgage payment, I get a mortgage calculator. Now, currently, we don't integrate with the cool Metro Title and Escrow app that our sister company is working on, but that might be something that happens in the future. But in any case, this is kind of cool. It's a little slider, right? Just kind of says, hey, if we made an offer because of COVID, Lance, and we could get this one for $400K, that'll tell me what my potential payment is every month. And that tells you what your down payment is. You can make these adjustments going back and forth, okay? Below that, you can see request more info. It's my contact information. It tells me that I'm interested in. So instead of requesting a showing, if I told Lance, hey man, I just need to get a little bit more info on this particular house, I could go in here and put in my email and my phone number. And now Lance is gonna get an email that just says, I'm requesting more information. Now your client can actually edit this, this info right here. Like I could tell Lance after the generic statement, I could say, I'm pre-qualified, up to 2 million. And my wife has a ton of cash or something like that. And I hit that button, and then Lance is going to get an email. Instead of requesting a showing, it's requesting more info. So at the very, very bottom here, you can see that we have share in message. Now I'm going to get to that in a second, but remember that's on all these different home screens. So let's go back to the top. So we just went through the highlight screen. This is the details screen. So the details screen.
Joe?
Yeah, sure, Jamie.
Guys, there's a lot of questions on the chat, and I assure you we will get to all of them.
Yeah, I'll. Do you want to take a pause now, or should we go through?
No, because I know you're going to get to some of this stuff.
Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so when you get here, you look at the details. You can go through, it tells you the garage, all this other kind of fun stuff, and they can actually click full property details. It expands it all the way out, right? So everything that's on the MLS is also in the app, okay? And this is legal. It says listing courtesy of, so we have that. And then over here, we have neighborhood details, right? So you can see it gives me my satellite maps and directions. And Ramon, I think you asked earlier about how long we can change that from minutes to miles. It actually has this cool little directions icon right here. And it'll tell you, on my phone, I have 3 different apps that will give me directions to this house. You can see that it says either you want to open that in Google Maps, Waze, or Apple Maps. And all I have to do is pick one of those, pick Apple Maps, and it's going to take that address, wham, opens right up. I can hit go, and it takes me right to where I want to go. Pretty slick, right? All integrated. The other thing is that it gives you like walk score. You know, this is a neighborhood thing. Basically tells you that almost all errands require a car. Commute time, you can actually have them enter. It's hard to see because it's a little bit grayed out, but there's a little edit button right here. You can actually have them enter in a commute address. So the idea is I work here. This is where my kids go to school. This is where my daycare is. And it will create drive time searches on your homes based on what you put in here, okay? And all you do is you go up to the upper right-hand corner, hit add, and then you, for example, might put in your work address, or you might put in your home address or the daycare address, and it'll sort of map all those things out for you. We're not going to go into that in detail. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that's where that is. Below that talks about schools. It gives you all this other kinds of information. And then the other thing it does down here at the very bottom is there's 3 options. I can either send this to somebody, right? That's what that little box with the arrow means. So if I click that, it's going to ask me, where do I want to send it to? So I'm just going to click on text, and I'm going to send this to Jamie. And now we go right here. And so Jamie has a copy of that email in her inbox now. The bottom here on the right is a little heart, okay? And that is, when you press the heart, this is where we're going to talk about a 2-way communication with this app for your clients. It says to perform this action, you'll need to log in or create a new account. So if I look at that and say, why do I need to log in and create an account if I want to like this property? Well, because the client needs to be able to send communications to you via the app about the properties and such that they like. So this is how easy it is to set up an account. I press my little heart, do login. Now I have I have an account, obviously, with HomeSpotter, so I'm just going to put in mine and log in here. So we got that done. And then again, it wants to send me notifications. Again, everything in this app is allow. So now I just clicked on a heart, and then when we get to the dashboard, I'm going to show you that Lance's details and his information, it just showed that Joe Lowry Hart liked this property, right? So it's completely 2-way communication. Now the other cool thing is I hit share and message, and I'm going to say, here's all the different emails that I have. So I can actually send this to any one of my text messages that I want, or I can quickly add a phone number, send it to my wife, send it to anyone that we want there. In this case, I'm just going to text Lance May, which I definitely have Lance in my phone. So we'll do that. Let's say, check this out. And we send it. So we go here. This is, again, it's asking me to use the address. So the reason why I'm showing you all this, and this is all in the recording, is don't freak out when these things pop up. You'll do it the first time because it's asking you permissions to do things like connect to your contacts. In this case, I'm going to just send that to Lance. Yep, that's the one. So that's set up. I told him, check this out. I hit send. Here we go. Whose number is this, Lance? Sure. So now on Lance's app and Lance's messaging section on his app, he now has this thread going back and forth. So Lance, if you have a chance to get to your phone, you can actually reply to my message, and then everyone can see your reply via the app when it's messaging. And Lance, I apologize, I did not let you know I could have picked anyone, but you were top row, looking good and all that kind of fun stuff.
Joe, I really think we can give Lance a hard time whenever we want to. He gives us a hard time, so we'll just return the favor.
We'll just return the favor. So in the meantime, by the way, this app right here, so this icon is now live, which means it's hot. I can go ahead and click that and go right back into my home screen. But what we've done is now I've created a two-way communication with Lance. So look at that. So Lance has replied by saying, "Sorry, you are unqualified. Yes, that house is too cool for me. I agree."
But his wife has a bunch of cash.
My wife has a bunch of cash, and Nikki's good for it. So we'll say that. But this is very cool because all this conversation, guys, is now happening within the context of your app, and it's all being recorded. So all this interaction, everything else is all there. It's all something that you can use all the time. So we're gonna hit close out of there, hit cancel there, and we're gonna go back to our original map. So the other thing that happened was, you see my little icon on this app? It's now changed. That means I've favorited that, right? So there's my new favorite. So the other thing that I want to show you real quick is how to draw on some of the search boundaries. So the icon right below the location icon is the draw icon. And the draw icon is actually super handy because you can literally just draw right on the map. And hit cancel on there so I can zoom out and say, I got to expand my search. So I could just hit my little pencil and I could say, show me everything over here on the east side. Okay. And then I hit apply. And that zooms in, and it's going to go through and actively find just anything that's there so that you can go back and forth. Other icons like this is that you have a neighborhood. Like this was multiple neighbors. So there's 2 and 4 in this particular subdivision there. You can see that there's a lot of different little icons that show you what you might want to be doing here. This one with the button, okay, is a brand new listing. And then there's even, let's see if we can find one. It's probably going to be hard now, but there's actually an open house icon as well. So it's a little tougher to find those these days. But there's a lot of new listings up here. There's your price reduced. There's actually there's a couple of different things that you can see. But anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and clear my map so I don't have the just isolate on that. But this is really, really powerful on the search side. The other thing that you can do is that this is the commute times. And then on the bottom one is it changes from the map icon to the satellite icon, right? So if you want to see, well, how close are we to a park, or what does that really look like in terms of how close that is to the freeway on-ramp, or how close is that to a commercial building? You could do, oh, speaking of commercial, this app does homes, and it doesn't do land, and it doesn't do commercial. So if you want someone who's trying to find a commercial property, they won't find it on this app. It's a different set of rules, and it's a different listing situation. So if you've had any frustration with that, you can't find empty land, or you can't find commercial. Oh, look at this. Okay, we found one. Look at this. See this little icon right here? See this bad boy? Click, click. So I tap on that. Means there's an open house coming. Okay? So that's pretty slick to do that. I'm realizing that I think my notifications will go away if I do that. So we'll try that. So that means there's an open house. I can open here, and it tells me that I've got that set up to make that happen.
Hey, Joe?
Yes.
When you go back to the home screen, can you show everybody that filter type? We're having a lot of questions about active versus pending, and
sure.
Can you show how to do that filter in the upper right-hand corner?
Sure. So
now, with the caveat that commercial is a little tricky, Ramon, but some commercial properties will show and some won't. We can't fully explain it, but Joe will show you how to filter that.
It has to do with how the commercial agent entered the property. Sometimes they will double book it. Lance probably has a better answer than this, but sometimes they put it only on the commercial available spots, and sometimes they also put a commercial building as a residential property on the MLS. But what you can do is you come up here to this upper right-hand corner, which is filter. So when I hit filter, it goes through, and I can actually just search for a property here. So if I want to go to a certain area, if I want to look at a certain MLS number, I can add that there. And on this one, on the statuses, I'm going to press that area, and it tells me it's active or pending. Okay, so those are the two statuses you can search on, active and pending. So we hit done there. And then below that, I've got type. So right now I'm only looking at single family and condominium. By default, your app will only look for those things, okay? If you want somebody that's looking for anything and everything, you just check the top check mark, hit done, and that's going to reset all of your filters so it'll look for multi unit homes or condos or whatever else it's listed to on the MLS. I like the way that these slider bars work. So right now this is any price. So let's say that we want to get that a little bit more refined. We want to say we're looking for something between 300 and 600. Well, probably more realistically, if that was the range, it would probably be something like 475 or 500 to 600. Bedrooms any, bathrooms any, finished square feet is any, that's all good. Your build is always default to any. They're looking for a brand new home, of course, you can change that. And then down below, it asks you, do you want to do it new this week, any price reductions this week, or open houses only? So we're going to leave all that there, hit the search homes button, and now it's redrawing for me. And now I'm only seeing homes between the 500 and 600 market. You can see I have a lot less pins on my map there. And then, of course, if you want to change your filters, you just come right here to reset, and you're back to normal. Okay?
And just to further clarify that for everyone, no, Joe and I do not set this. We do not go in and set each property as multi-unit or farm. That is up to you as the agent. This is pulling directly from the MLS. So it depends, like Joe said, how it was entered to the MLS. And many commercial properties are not entered to the MLS, the residential MLS. But keep in mind that this is just pulling that data, and we are organizing that data for you in the app. So all active listings. This is not just Berkshire Hathaway listings. These are all active listings. What a great way to keep communication up with your potential buyers, especially now if they are telling you that they are going to wait, but they're going to see what the market's doing. They're going to see how things pan out. But this is that great way to stay in touch. And we're going to talk about all of our contacts and everything on the dashboard shortly.
Yeah, Jamie, that's a great point. We contracted with HomeSpotter. We chose them because of the fluidity of the app. There's two other features. We love the in-app exchange in terms of messaging, and really, when Jamie and I were trying to make a determination about which one of these platforms we were going to go with, the big winner for us on this one was there's full reporting of who's using your app. That other ones don't have that. So this one actually lets you know who done it. I'm going to show you that dashboard here in a second. So as we go along here, I'm just going to show you a couple more things. If they don't like this visual representation of all the pins, if they don't want to see the things by geography, just have them come on down here to the bottom left-hand corner where it says list. Just click list, and now all of a sudden you're looking at the same properties, but it's more of a horizontal stack method. So if this helps calm the mind a little bit of your clients, feel free to go ahead and tell them to use that. And then of course, it's just changed back. So now you can say, I want to look at the map again. So that's how you change that flow. Messages you already saw. So one of the main reasons that you want to do this is that you want to make sure that your app has a complete, this is why you want your client to sign up so that you can message within here. Now, if you've clicked messages and it says, hey, we need you to sign up, it's a little wizard. It's like a little tutorial, right? It automatically will tell you, hey, you need to sign up. Just follow those prompts. It's going to ask you to verify your phone number so that it can use your phone number to go ahead and send information to you. It's going to ask you to create an account. You can hit register, create the account. It's super, super easy, and it makes it really simple for you to share your app back and forth. They don't have to register for an account to use your app, but if they don't register for an account, it limits your ability to do that messaging back and forth, and it also limits your ability to share information about favorites and homes and all the other kinds of things that you just saw there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit close and come out of there. Now I'm gonna show you what I think is one of the coolest features, but that's because I'm a complete nerd, and that's this bottom right-hand corner. It's called Home Scan. So when
you and me both, Joe, we are nerds to the core.
Nerds to the bone marrow. So if we hit Home Scan, you'll probably be asked to have permission to use your camera, and that's okay. Give them permission to use your camera. So if you guys want to see what yourselves look like, this is me looking at you, looking at me, and that's an infinite mirror there. But you see right here on the bottom, this little compass, you can see that in my neighborhood, there's these little yellow dots. Now, I love home scan because it's actually giving you the ability to look through walls. So if I rotate my phone out my back window, look what starts popping up. Oh, look, there's a house behind on the street behind me, 2168 Golden Country Oaks, which is it's 2 streets behind my house. So you can see that it's there, right? Now, if I want to get more information on that, I actually take that little hovering box and I click on it, and we're back into the same thing that we know. So this is an active for 850. I go ahead and I click on this. So I'm trying to cross my arms so I can do the mouse and the phone at the same time. So I click on right here, and then it allows me to swipe through any of the properties that are close to that. And when I see what I like, I just tap it, and I'm back to my screen right there. How cool is that?
When Joe and I were researching apps, guys, this feature, along with the full reporting, just made it a no-brainer to use this. How cool is this when you have potential buyers in the Sugar House area? They download your app and they just turn around, they see a for sale sign, they hold up their home scan, they've got all the information at their fingertips.
It's
or
super
in
cool.
downtown St. George or on Main Street, Park City, they can see what's there. So cool to be able to have that feature and just look around and say, I want to live here. What potential properties are around me? So
that little home scan button right there, by the way, people, that is one of the things this is how I coach people to use that. Let's say that they've identified a neighborhood they like. Okay, so they found an area of the city, or they found an area of somewhere that they like. What home scan allows them to do is get into that neighborhood and just literally from their car, they put their phone up and they can move it around like this and find all the properties that are typically hidden like 3 or 4 streets behind. So those of you that have tried to drive around a neighborhood you're not familiar with, you know how tough it is when you get to these subdivisions that have dead ends and all these like internal maze type situations. That home scan will let you know exactly how to get there and move it around. It's very, very cool. It lets you see. I tell people, I say, you want to see through walls? So download my app. That's how we do that. Let me share my screen, and we're going to talk about the dashboard real quick.
By the way, Joe, just real quick, kudos to you on being able to show your mobile device screen on a Zoom video recording from your laptop at your home office.
Thank you very much for noticing that. What you guys didn't see when I was holding my mobile phone up was how crossed my arms were when I was trying to put all that together.
I'm gonna buy you a drink after this, Joe.
Love it. Let's do this. I'm going to show you now our dashboard. So this is our dashboard, how you get management over your app. When you come over here in our intranet, on the left-hand side, you come down here and it says Boost Dashboard Login. Okay. That Boost Dashboard Login is important because that's how you get to all the reporting. So if you've ever run a Boost ad, and Jamie did a class on that 3 weeks ago, if you ever ran a Boost ad, you're already familiar with this. This is where you log in to run your Facebook Boost ads, okay? But what you probably haven't noticed before today was up here at the top, there are these other little buttons, right? I've got Share Your App and I've got App Engagement. So when I hit Share Your App, what it does is it tells me the link that I can use to put in the bottom of my email signature, put that on your web page, do any of those kinds of things. The cool thing about this is that, oh, and by the way, I guess I should have started by saying, if you haven't signed up for it yet, this is what you will get on your screen. You will get, let me get the share up here so you can see this. You're going to get this screen. So if you've never signed in before, you're going to get the sign that looks like this, okay? And if you're new to this, you just come down right here where first time logging in, and you're going to enter in the email address that you use on your MLS profile, okay? So Brad, you wanted to make sure you got your picture up there. So make sure that if you use your BHHS.com, BHHSutah.com address, that's what you put in here. It'll send you an email, and in that email, it'll basically say, give me your name, give me a password, and then you'll go ahead and be able to log in. So again, if it's the first time logging into the dashboard, you go to the intranet, you click on the Boost dashboard, and if it's the first time, you come down here and you fill in the email address that you used on your MLS profile, and it will send you instructions, okay? But once you get those instructions and you complete that wizard, then you get to have this cool dashboard here.
Joe,
All right.
go back to the intranet screen and show people again. I think that first step is going to trip some people up. Again, we're preaching, start at the intranet.
The intranet is the beginning of all your friendly interactions. You come to the intranet and you come right down here on the left-hand side, and it's your fourth option. It's called the Boost Dashboard Login. And you're gonna click that. It's gonna pop a new tab for you, and you'll be right into your dashboard. So I'm going to pretend like I'm logged into Lance May's dashboard, okay? Now, because I have the admin capabilities, I can do this. Lance, I apologize. I'm not trying to overstep bounds.
I wonder if Lance has any dirty laundry in here.
That's not here, but I wanted to show you. So here we have Lance, and then here's Lance's active listings. Again, this is the boost part, but here's the other thing I like. So when I go to share your app, right, look at how cool Lance's URL is. So you share it from the app, and we're gonna finish with how to share your app when you're in the app. But if you wanted to also put this to your email signature or something else, again, you go to your Boost Dashboard Login, you go to the top menu option right here, go to share your app, and by default, we tried as hard as we can to get everybody a cool URL. So Lance is the only Lance in our company at this time. So basically, he could go to that one URL I showed you at the beginning, app.bhhsutah.com, and if we do /Lance, that will go to his app. Like if you go to /Melinda, /Raquel, that will. If you have a name that might be duplicate, you'll see that it tried as hard as it can. It might do your first initial and your last name, or some other things to try to make it as easy as possible. It also shows you how to send a text invite from the dashboard. That's pretty cool, right? So you put in your phone number, you can put your message in there, and then you go ahead and say what phone number you're sending it from. I will tell you on this that the process that they use to send this text message is through a third-party text company. Every once in a while, a cell phone company like T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon will get cranky about getting text messages sent not through them, and sometimes the text message won't arrive. So if you send it through here, you should probably call them or say, hey, did you just get my invite to the app? It doesn't happen on a regular basis, but if it does, that's exactly what happened. We were working with my good friend Jennifer Israel, and we had that same issue. She was sending it from her phone, and Verizon at the time was just mad, and they didn't get it. We got it worked out, but if that happens, that's what will occur. Your text code. So this is the actual code that you're using. You can add a text code there. And then these last two things are for embedding on your website, so don't worry about those, but that's all the options that you have here in the Share Your App. Now, the last piece we'll talk about the dashboard is app engagement. Well, look at that. So here's exactly what I sent Lance earlier on in our call, right? It gives them the name. So again, this is what Lance has seen. So he's already got this loaded up, and he's got what this is. He's got my phone number. I asked for showing, and the second time I asked for just basic information. It tells me the time and date that received, and it also tells me what MLS number I was looking for. Now, if I click on that summary, this is exactly what he got, right? So this is the comments, and it actually hot links into the property itself so that you can go do your research. Look at that, straight back to our website. You go do your research on that property so that when Lance calls me to tell me that I'm not qualified for this house, he can explain, but it's a beautiful house, and you can go through all those steps. So just to kind of repeat, you got your dashboard, you go up to the top. Share Your App is going to give you the URL that you can use to send that around to everybody. There's a little copy link button there so you can put it in your email and such. And then this side is app engagement. So the more people that download Lance's app, he's going to have a giant stack of all those people right here. So he can quickly put them into a CRM or however else he wants to do that. And then you could also add contacts in here if he chooses to. Realistically, you're not going to add contacts into the HomeSpotter app. You're just going to tell the app to use the contacts in your phone, because that's where you keep everything anyway. But just so you know, that's also a possibility. Okay, the final thing. I'm going to go back to my phone screen here, and then we'll do some questions. And Jamie, I do think I've exhausted the entire time. We might have to make YouTube another one, but let's go here. Okay.
Let's just stick with the app today, Joe, and we'll get to YouTube on a different class.
That's a good idea.
I also want to touch on best practices for app use. Again, great tool for you to be able to speak to your sellers about as well, to let them know once their house is active on the MLS, it will be included in this app and other search apps. But I also think talking to buyers and active buyers now, some people, Joe, have mentioned or asked me or asked you, and I want you to talk to the group about it, about blasting out your app to all of your contacts and all of your
yeah.
So let's talk about best practices.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Okay, so there's the highest, the thing that people are looking for most of everything else right now to punish in terms of spam practices is text messaging. So we went through those periods of time where the whole issue was always around calls at home when we all had home phone numbers, and then from there it became calls to your cell phone, and then email came out, and then of course spam to the email, and nobody likes that anyway. The thing that seems to irritate consumers the most is spamming them over text messages, sending them a text message that they did not expect or were not anticipating. So be very, very careful when you do this. I anticipate that the 3 best practices for your app to share your app: number 1, put it in your email signature. Number 2, make sure it's present somewhere on your website. So for example, you can go to the intranet and request a website change and say, would you please add my app URL to my about page, something like that you can put in there. And the last thing is, yeah, you're there you go. And then make sure it's on Facebook, your Facebook business page. And also, every time you're sitting in open house, anytime that you're doing like that, say, hey, listen, I know you're probably out looking at a lot of properties today. I have an app that will probably simplify that process for you. Do you mind if I just get your information really quick and I'll send it to you? And if they give you their phone number at that moment, you can actually verify they got your link, because you can text from it right out of the app. And it allows you to also have their cell phone number now. It's part of your lead. So let's finish with sharing your app from the app itself. So I'll go ahead and click on this. We'll get this back up. It's around here somewhere. Can you guys see my phone? I don't think you can see it. It got mad at me. Let's try a different way here. Sorry guys, it's not a perfect technology, but we're doing our best here. It doesn't like that either.
The other benefit of this app, y'all, is many apps try to sell clients other things. There's ads, there's pop-ups, there's a bunch of junk. We made sure that our app doesn't do that. We don't want to annoy our clients. We don't want to be bothersome. We don't want to try to sell them a cheeseburger when they're looking for homes. We want to be a functional tool. So be aware of that. Some people might tell you that they have another app. While that's great, this one is free of all those bugs and all of those pop-ups and all of those advertisements. It is just about your client and you, which is so cool to be able to have that branded version to share. I encourage you to call all of your buyers or potential buyers, have a conversation if you haven't had a conversation with them recently, and talk about looking at property and talk about the app and share that app with them. Let them be in control. So it's not just you pushing on, asking them what they're looking for and when they're ready to buy. It's them taking the control in the app and being able to communicate with you any way that they want. If it's not convenient for them through the app, then they'll call you or text you or email you. Again, it's not about you, it's about that client and what they prefer.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then we also had a question about where do you change your phone number and such. So let me get that loaded up for you here. And we'll share that while my phone is rebooting, which I haven't done in quite some time. All right, can you guys see that screen now? Can we get a nod? It's just acting a little funky. I want to make sure we're actually seeing my screen. Yes, no, maybe?
Joe, we can see your laptop screen.
Yeah, but so you can see the app dashboard here?
Yes. Okay,
so this is where you go to change your settings. So when you go into share your app, so let's say you're in this section that we're here. So you're going to go up here to the upper right-hand corner, hit your down arrow, okay? That. so I could get this set up. And then you're going to click on your little face there. And that's where you can change your picture. And you go to account settings. And this is where you're going to, so Bradley, this is where you're going to upload your photo. And you're going to put in your first and last name here on that. And then this is the email. And then this is where you can change the email that you want. So Lance had his Tridescent in the email in there. You might want to change that. And then this is where you could update your cell phone number or anything else, and also change your notification settings. So you can see that notify me when somebody downloads my app. You might want to get that by email. And then when somebody requests a showing, you might say, nope, give me that on a text, right? I want to find that right away. So that's how you do that. And then obviously upload your photo. You hit the little upload button there, and then hit save profile. And then that's how you go ahead and change that to make that happen. So any other questions here while we wrap up? And my phone's almost back up, so hopefully we can show you how to share from the app.
Kevin Murray had a good question. And I don't know if it's possible, Joe, actually, is as an agent looking at properties from the app, can you see who the listing agent is?
No,
you know,
it just says
think
brokerage.
It says courtesy of Eagles and Vocal, courtesies of Coldwell Banker, and then you obviously have access to the MLS, but this is, again, really for you and your clients to make sure that you are front and center and they're not just going direct to the listing agent.
Yeah, so yeah, and Kevin, on that, if you are only seeing the listing agent, that means you haven't branded the app. So remember at the beginning when I chose Lance as my agent, if you are seeing the listing agent, because if you have the generic version of the app, that's exactly what it will do. It will show you only the listing agent on that. So I just had my screen up here for a second. Maybe it wants to behave today. Maybe it doesn't. Well, I guess we could do this. I'll just have to talk you through this at the end here so we don't have to get stuck. Oh, wait, right. Of course, it came back right when I unplugged it. Here we go. All right. Phew. Okay, so now, how do you share your app when you're in your app? Up here in the upper left-hand corner, we've got our little hamburger stripe right there. So we're going to click that app. We're going to verify that it is who we are right here. The reason why it changed me out of Lance is that I signed in because it thinks I'm an agent too, but this would have said Lance in our earlier example. And then right down below here, it says invite to app. So you're going to go ahead and tap that with your finger, and it's going to say, do you want to do it with a text message, or do you want to send it in an email, or example, post it online? Let's do both. So in this case, I'm going to send a message. Now, because I've registered my phone, right? I'm allowed to send SMS right out of this app. So I got it. And then here, I'm going to send this to my good friend, Jamie. And I can change this right here. See, it says, this is Joe Lowry. Check out BHHS Utah Properties, where we can message about homes using the app. Probably not the way you speak, certainly not the way I speak, right? So you can actually come in here and change that. And then in your dashboard, you can actually change what your default message is as well. Remember when we went to account settings and uploaded a picture? You can also change some other things in there as well. But in this case, I say, this is Joe Lowry. Let's look at this house and get lunch. All right, and then I hit send. And now it's going to say, you want to send this to Jamie? I say, yep, hit submit. So I'm doing this over the app, and Jamie is getting this in her text message. So all of that is going on.
And I got it within 3 seconds of Joe hitting that send button.
Yeah, it's pretty slick to do that. So we hit close. So that's how you do a text message. And the last one is you hit invite to app, email or post online, and you say, okay, what are we going to do here? So in this case, let's send it to Lance since he's already participated. Here's the app that shows up. You see this link right here, this Y6TC? You might share the app and you might say, wait, what is that? That is the shortened version of your dashboard settings. Remember when we looked at Lance's and it said app.bhhsutah.com/Lance? That right there is the shortened version of that of Lance. Now, if he were to send app.bhhsutah.com/Lance, that would also work, right? So that's exactly how you do that. But this URL right here, you can post that anywhere. But again, just because it looks cooler, log into the Boost dashboard, go find out what vanity URL they assigns you, because if it's got your first and last name or just your first name or your first initial last name, it's way cooler than sending it out some other way. So Okay, that's it. Let's kind of take a pause here and see if there's any additional questions on how to use this bad boy. And we'll go ahead and take a look. Any other questions here, Jamie?
I just see one from Tammy asking if she wants to update the boost options. And yes, you want the latest and greatest of everything.
Oh, yeah. So again, Boost is also the guys that do our Facebook ads. So it might be asking you, hey, do you want to see the latest Facebook options? So that dashboard is both your Facebook ads and your mobile app settings. So they're both in there. Michael, I'll get this usually cut and put up on the internet in the next few hours. It'll be on the intranet. And then Bettina, any chance marketing resource can put together a blip about this application for email blast? Well, we happen to have one of the most talented VPs of marketing in the history of real estate. So maybe we should ask her if she thinks her team could put together a little blip.
Of course, of course. Submit a request. I've done this in the past, Bettina, and I've made it generic, and then everybody comes back to me and they want it specific to them. So I can create a graphic for you to include in your e-blast with a link, and you can know how to link in marketing resource. That is all applications that you can do, but we can put together that graphic if you'd like. Again, everybody wants it custom and not just the Berkshire Hathaway Utah app. So submit a request into marketing, we can take care of you.
Yeah, and then just a couple of the other questions that kind of keep dragging on about the boost settings versus the app settings versus those kinds of things. Again, let's get to your dashboard. I'll show you again. So we're going to go up here on our dashboard, in our boost dashboard, and we are going to choose to look at our...
Who knew we could talk for an hour about an app, Joe?
Seriously.
We really are nerds.
We are such nerds.
All right,
and then
going back to Brad and Kevin's question, really this is meant for your clients, okay? And it's branded to you for your clients. So as an agent, if you're searching that app, you're not going to see the listing agent on the app because it wants to be branded to you.
Right.
So I know that's a little different than you're used to. But again, this is for your clients and connecting with you. Another way to reach out and stay connected with your clients.
And if you do see the listing agent on the app, you're not using your own version. That's the generic version if you do that. So again, over here, when you look at your share your app settings right here, that's the link that we were talking about earlier. And the way that you change that is by going to your down arrow, going to account settings, and in here is where you set up your account settings. So this is where you do your photo, your email, your cell phone. You can add your license number if you choose. These email settings are all about, this is a combination of the app settings and your boost settings. And then over here on your boost settings, this is how boost sees you, right? So this is how you can kind of do some lead routing. This is admin stuff. So you guys are just going to have a simplified version of that, which is your Facebook page and some other stuff. But your email preferences and your profile, this is where you're going to set your phone number and your email and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Call. Thanks, John. Yeah. Oh, wait. See Kevin's question above. Kevin. I'm not seeing. Oh, yeah. Oh, you just answered that.
We already got to that. Yeah. But great call.
When I go to send an email message from the phone to share the app, it has an email I do not use. Yeah. So exactly, Greg, what we're looking at here. You're going to go into your Boost dashboard. You're going to go to the upper right-hand corner, hit the down arrow, go to your account settings, and then you're going to get to this page here where you can upload your photo, put in the email that you like, and put in the phone number that you like.
And then you have to shut down the app. So your app can't be live on the phone while you are looking at your laptop screen. You have to shut down the app and reopen it. Give it a minute to sync, and then it will sync together.
Perfect. And then let's wrap this up, Jamie, with a little bit, since we know we do want to get to the video stuff and the YouTube stuff. I had a delivery today that was pretty dang cool. And so we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this. This is a gimbal. Ooh, that sounds fun. Gimbal. Yeah, we're gonna use this because with virtual walkthroughs right now, this thing right here, this has been so much fun. I haven't been able to even set it up or play with it yet, but you put your phone in here, right? It's like a selfie stick, but it's intelligent. And see these stabilizers? What they do is it allows you to go through a walkthrough of the house, and just like a real movie maker, right? it keeps your phone stable as you go in there and walk through things. This was $85 on Amazon, okay? It's not a huge investment, but we're gonna get through why this is could be something potential. A little teaser for next week.
Teaser for next week, and we'll count how many times Joe likes to say the word gimbal.
Gimbal.
So thank you guys so much. We're going to get to the gimbal and YouTube video and all of that next week. We're going to continue to roll out. We have some really cool ideas for classes. If you have anything that you need, let us know. We'll get this recording live on the intranet and our BHHS Utah Learning page ASAP and let you know once it's all there. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us with any questions. We love you guys, and we will see you very soon.
Happy Wednesday. We'll see ya.